This is Ultra Blue Energy coming at you. And it's time for me to talk about something that many people has been talking about for years. Goku versus Superman. Oh yeah, this video is gonna be good. Two immensely powerful titans of fiction, soaring through the skies, blasting energy balls, and virtuous paragons of the world. Now this fight was covered numerous times on the internet, most famously by the YouTube channel Screw Attack, who decided to take it into their own hands to bury the hatchet. But to their dismay, instead of putting a respectful end to this debate, the exact opposite happened. Dragon Ball fans were seething. They could not comprehend what they've just watched. But was Screw Attack wrong? It's time to explain why we got the results we got. Let's get this thing going. Now I understand, many channels have covered this kind of topic before. But they don't matter, because Ultra Blue Energy is doing it now. Now let's dig in for a minute. You're 14 years old, and you stay up every night to watch Dragon Ball Z Kai on Toonami. Hey, hands up if that was you, bro. Hands up, man. You tune in every night as Goku overcomes his enemies. Saiyan Saga Vegeta, who finger blasted worlds with glee, gets his scouter smacked off with a Kaioken ×3. And then he will go on to face Frieza, a guy so threatening and powerful that it pushed Goku into achieving Super Saiyan. And then it comes all the way to the Cell Saga, where Gohan wins the day with the solar system shattering Kamehameha. Then there was the Buu Saga, a saga in which was never shown on Toonami for some reason. This is when Super Saiyan 3 and fusions were showcased, and that's where it got insane. Back then I even watched Dragon Ball GT, a show in which I never understood the hate for. I mean, it had two space adventures and two very interesting villain concepts. Not to mention Super Saiyan 4. Now as I would sit there watching all these crazy adventures and these crazy fights, I would of course think that wow, Goku is the most powerful character in all of fiction. There's no way anybody could beat him. And you would be lying if you didn't think the same thing. This was of course before Death Battle and before I ever picked up a comic book. I did know of superheroes, but I didn't think any of them would hold a candle to Goku. Superman to me was just a guy that resisted gunfire and flew very high, and was at least somewhat strong. I was completely oblivious to many of his feats, so I was just rocking with the Saiyan all the way. It was until that fateful day arrived. Screw Attack released the first Goku vs Superman fight, a video for the history books. This was the most eventful video of my young lifetime. Never would I imagine this would happen. I took my itty bitty clicker and went straight for the video. It was on. I was ready to see Superman get pummeled. Shoot, he'd be lucky to survive one punch from Goku. At least that's what I thought. Honestly, I was left flabbergasted during this entire fight. Superman was holding his own, even when Goku transformed into his many known forms during that time. Not to mention that Goku made many mistakes during this fight, which I'm gonna get to later. And many of you know the outcome too well. Superman won, to the dismay of millions of Dragon Ball fans.
It's over! It's finally over! We never have to hear about it again!
Oh really, Boomstick? Because this is why you never say never. When Goku came about with a more powerful form, you already know they had to do a rematch. And so they did. And Goku got massacred. At most, I was in disbelief. Meanwhile, I sensed millions of fans foaming at the mouth. I just knew people were pissed. Life wasn't the same after this. I would have never expected Superman to be so freaking strong. Both of these fights changed my perspective entirely. It made me realize that Goku cannot solo fiction, and that comic book characters, let alone Superman, were in an entire league of their own. In fact, it was this very video that got me into comic books, especially after Death Battle explained all of Superman's feats. Flying across the universe in 10 minutes, lifting concepts, shaking literal reality in his fights, not to mention all the insane stuff that he survived. This video was a big eye-opener for me, because I didn't expect comic characters to be this strong. When these two videos released, versus debates sparked like crazy. We got respect threads coming out, highlighting the true power of characters, especially comic book ones. But despite this, Dragon Ball fans raged endlessly. Go to a Superman respect thread. There will always be that one guy that makes a snarky comment about how Goku is stronger, and then get immediately destroyed by people who actually do their research. I scroll through Superman vs. Goku threads and they are just the worst, man. And the flame war is so bad that multiple websites had to ban or archive the comment threads. It's that terrible. But I come back to the question, were they right? Now it's easy to point out Goku's greatest feats, especially from a visual standpoint. We got characters destroying rocks, planets, being faster than the speed of light, shaking the heavens when they fight. Yeah, that was a bar on purpose. But when talking about comic book characters, that's a whole different thing entirely. They have centuries worth of material, so you really have to dig in to get a comic book feat. And I think that's where the issue lies. Most anime fans are visual consumers. They're not readers. And even if you consider the manga readers, they'll still be left out on a lot of things. Because American comics are a lot to consume. Most don't even look hard enough or don't even try. Now there's many reasons why that this death battle turned out the way it did. And I'm gonna touch upon the power scaling debate a little bit. Many Dragon Ball debaters use power levels to determine how strong their characters are. It's how they always done things.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
Classic meme right there. However, when they try to calculate comic book characters the same way, it doesn't work. Because how these universes operate are fundamentally different from one another. The entire Dragon Ball universe uses the formula of Ki, which is battle energy. And every character in this verse functions within its confines. It's like an ongoing RPG game, with all these ways characters can get stronger. Comic book characters work in absurdly bullshit ways from the get-go. It's a multitude of diverse ways a character is strong. Some superheroes are strong on a conceptual basis. Some are paragons, therefore they have to be powerful. Or they straight up come into the modern age with Silver Age shenanigans. It was a thing in American comics since American comics. When we're talking about Superman, we're talking about an alien that's outright invincible as long as he's under the sun. And even then, things can still get topsy-turvy. Any crazy feat Goku has done, Superman and many other comic book characters would like been there, done that. Now I want to talk about some parts of the fight itself in this next point. First off, now that I got more of an understanding of how Superman's powers work, there are so many stupid mistakes that Goku did. One of is obviously not exploiting his weaknesses. Goku does this thing where he always wants to fight his opponents at their utmost potential. This is a mistake on Goku's behalf, because even during the time this fight released, Superman had no real utmost potential. As I stated before, he is invincible under the sun. Which brings me to the other mistake. Goku blasted him into the sun. Yeah, the one thing that you never do to Superman in a versus battle. And that completely sealed the fate for Goku. Now the best, or worst part depending on where you stand, is that despite everything, is that Superman was probably still holding back all throughout the fight, including down to the last hit. And that was always the gist of how Superman works power-wise. No matter how much he cuts loose, there's always power that he's holding back significantly. We all know that faithful quote, he feels like everything is made of cardboard. And we got Goku over here, who's made of makeshift driftwood. Still breakable, but it's better than cardboard. Now I'm going to talk about one of the criticisms of this video, and that's the composite characters argument. Claims were made that they used a composite Superman, and the thing is they did that with both characters. And it's for a good reason. It saves time. They used a mix of Dragon Ball, Z, GT, and Super for Goku. Cause let's be honest, when's the last time he used that power pole? And with Superman, I believe they used Post-Crisis, New 52, Pre-Crisis, and All-Star, with them heavily leaning towards Post-Crisis, I'm betting. Because listen to me when I say this. If they were screwing around using different versions of characters all the time, it would waste so much time. Hence why you don't see that kind of thing. Because if Goku did beat a Superman like New 52, fans would be like, oh, but he can't beat post-crisis. Oh, but he can't beat pre-crisis. All that kind of mess. Even if another video pops up with their most powerful variations, the Flame War would still go on, so it won't matter. Many people were banking on Goku to take home the W, but it just didn't happen for the simplest reason. They didn't look into the other guy and his insane reputation. Dragon Ball fans refuse to believe this, but Superman is an insanely powerful character. Many of his feats prove it, like the one stated in this video and many more. I mean, in recent days he did 2 crazy new feats, like defeating a multiversal entity and negating time and space. Yeah people, it's not just Goku that gets more powerful over the years. And Superman is likely going to do something else insane in the future. And the debates are likely to get more interesting. So to summarize, these videos are the subject of the hypest matchup of all time. A big YouTube channel everyone looks to for answers of who would win in a fight decides to tackle Goku versus Superman. They answered the big question, and for more than millions of people, their perspectives changed forever. Which is of course what these 2 versus battles were meant to do. Because people were left in the dark on what American comic book characters could really do. And that's including this blue guy right here. Of course, the Flame War got worse. But for many, this really revved up the versus community. Heck, I might even say it made the versus community. Because I never known of such a thing before these videos surfaced, I swear. Now as far as who I think would win, as much as I like Goku solely for the fact that he shoots energy balls, Superman takes it. He just got too much on him right now. And to spice my channel up, I might do respect threads somewhere in the future. I'm for one hoping on it. Anyway, this is all for the video. I really need to post to my first channel. I might take some time off on this one to do some art. We'll see where it goes. This is Ultra Blue Energy, blasting off.